Hey guys, this is Jonathan Henderson with Pressure Washing Marketing Pros, and I got my friend Brody Harris of LA Soft Wash with me. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, man.
That's good. That's good, man. So, yeah, guys, in today's video, we're going to talk about how Brody got started in the exterior cleaning industry. We're also going to talk about, his experience working with us and just, get to know him, talk about, his experience that he has in exterior cleaning. He's doing some big things, guys. And so, yeah, we were talking about it before the call, but we're going to talk about it now. So, yeah, Brody, go ahead and introduce yourself, man, and just tell us how you got in the exterior cleaning industry.
Um, I started as a Army combat vet, got out and started working construction and oil refineries and stuff, and was traveling a lot. And I finally worked my way up in the company I was in, where I was home more, but then COVID hit, and work was kind of scarce. Nobody knew what was going on, so they shipped me out to North Dakota for months, and my buddy, I came home for like a week, and then they were sending me to Kentucky for the rest of the year. My buddy told me about soft washing, and he said, "Man, this is gonna be like the next hot thing. You need to get in this. I'm telling you, this is gonna be it for sure." And he owns a pretty good sized lawn landscape company, so I started watching videos on YouTube and stuff, and I was like, "Man, this really could be something." It's not like the traditional pressure washing like people really think about.
Mhm.
So I found a company in Alabama, ordered a bunch of equipment, all top of the line stuff. And I told my wife, I was like, look, I'm about to buy all this stuff. When I come home for Thanksgiving, I'm not leaving again until we have $5,000 left.
Mhm.
And she like freaked out. But I came home and I never left again. So just grinded it out.
Grinding it out, man. I know me and you both were in the military, and I know how that can be. But what part of North Dakota were you in?
I was in Dickinson, North Dakota, a small, super small town. It's just like literally three restaurants, a Walmart, and an oil refinery. Like there's nothing else there. But it was pretty cool because we were up there for 2020. So we my family came up there for 4th of July that year. That's when they had like the big thing at Mount Rushmore with all the planes and troubles there and the fireworks and all that stuff. So that was pretty cool. That was something that we would have never done if I wasn't there. So there's good things about traveling, but I was ready to be home. I was missing a lot of my son's life for sure.
Yeah, man. I know he's a basketball. He out here basketball, football, everything, man. I see that.
Yeah.
I was in Minot for a little bit, North Dakota, man. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that was not a fun time, man, for me. I wanted to get
No,
back as
it
well.
gets cold up there, man.
Mm.
God, it gets cold.
It does, it does. So tell me about how you got your first jobs. You know what I mean? Whenever you first started. So you got out of that, and like I know you said until you guys got 5,000. I know Cameron was probably,
Yeah.
gosh, like, she was probably stressed.
Yeah.
Tell me how you guys got your first jobs.
So the first thing I did, a lot of the guys that I followed on social media and YouTube and stuff, they preached about the Google page, Google page, Google page, Google page, Google page. So I made one while I was still in Kentucky. I made one. Didn't have a website yet, but like I got my logo done. I had a vision for it. So I got everything laid out. I wanted to be as official as possible, like not 1 foot in, 1 foot out deal. And got it all done. And man, I had like I got home and I didn't even have my equipment yet. And I was in Kentucky. I was getting calls, and I'm like, dude, I don't even know how to talk to these people. I don't know what I'm doing. But I was like, man, we're just so busy. I knew I was gonna be home in like 2 weeks. I'm like, man, we're just so busy. I can't even come look at your house for like 2 weeks. And so when I got home, I had like six estimates to go do. So I go do them, I price them, and got my first job, man. And I'll never forget that call. I know the guy's name and everything. And he called, went and did the estimate. He called me like 3 days later. He was like, "Hey man, we're gonna go ahead and do it." And I was like, "Oh, bro, this is so good."
Yeah,
So that job, it was a roof wash. It was $1,000 roof wash.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, Dropped my little boy off at school that morning, went did that job, and then picked him up from school that afternoon. And I was like, I'm never going back to the plants again, ever. Like, this is freedom. This is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah,
And oh snap.
you're good, man. You're good.
Oh, phone just fell. But that's how I went, dude. And that's what I did. And never went back. And that's just it went from there, you know. But the Google page, and there's some parts of marketing that definitely don't work. So I got on Vistaprint and we ordered, I think it was 5,000 6x9 flyers, like nice double-sided flyers.
Mhm.
And me and Carmen walked neighborhoods and put out 5,000 flyers on mailboxes, and I didn't get one call.
Oh man,
So,
you're in the wrong neighborhood, man. You must have been in the hood. I'm just joking.
no, man. I mean, knowing now, so when I started my business, we don't live in like a low income area, but we live in an outskirt city to a big city. We live on the outskirts of Baton Rouge. And even now, with the best marketing team, the best, these little cities around me, we probably collectively do like, we got Zachary, Central, Denham. We probably do like 4 jobs a month in those little cities, maybe.
Hmm.
99% of our work is in Baton Rouge in the city. That's just how it is, and that's where the money's at. So, um, I love it, man. Though it's awesome. We're doing. I figured it up the other day. This year we should do about 80K in repeat residential business. So that's pretty good.
That is pretty good, man. That is where the money is at. And then the bigger that you get, the more clients that you acquire. I always tell people, how do you get more repeat clients? Because some guys
Yeah,
will be like, oh, I have referrals, I have this. And I say, how do you get more referrals? You get more new clients.
yeah,
Get more
yeah,
new clients, that 80%, you know what I mean? That 80K turns to 120K, turns to 200K, and then all of a
yeah.
sudden, right? And then you build that solid foundation, which I want to talk to guys about more about that because, like I said, that's the right mindset to say. And then also one thing that you said that I, really agree with is going to be about where you do most of your jobs. If you look at, and this even information that I've known working with you, and when we talked like almost 2 years ago, which we'll get into that in a minute, but you have to look at the household income. You know what I mean? Of
Yeah.
like how people who can afford your services, and a lot of people don't look at that. And in parts of Baton Rouge, man, I ain't gonna say, but you know what I mean? Like some of those people have a household income of like $55,000, and you're
Yeah,
like, they're
yeah.
like, this guy's only gonna get pressure washing if he needs it. Like if he absolutely needs it, right? Like they're not
Yeah.
gonna fit it other than that though. So it's about what you're targeting to and picking like, certain areas. And so that's really good. So when you first started, like what was one of the biggest things that you struggled with as well? Like whenever you first started. It doesn't have to be marketing wise, it could just be overall.
Um. Uh.
I didn't struggle at
I
all, man.
was.
I was
I
always
was. Yeah. I mean, it. It sounds weird. Like I didn't struggle. One thing I did used to do was I used to do all my estimates. So yeah, I did struggle with this. So I used to do all my estimates in person,
hmm
and I struggled getting to all those estimates.
hmm
But I also, when you do an estimate in person and you see the property and it is what it is, you can kind of see how the people are living. You talk to the people, you feed off of. I'm a very good people reader, and I can tell like, okay, this is going to be a $800 ticket. That dude's not going to fly for that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to make really good money on this $800 ticket. But I think if I do it for 600, I'll still make money for sure. But I think he would go for that. And
Mhm.
then what I figured out what that leads to is he's going to call his buddy Tom down the street, and then Tom might be living a different lifestyle. He would pay for the $800 wash, but he's got about the same size house as Gary, and Gary already told him to charge him $600.
Yeah.
And then that's the clients that will get you 10 people in their neighborhood. So you're getting the volume, but every time you're losing out on $150, $200 that you should have charged in the beginning.
Yeah.
So now we do 99% of our bids online, just measuring square footage. And Honestly, down here in Louisiana, the only thing that'll sometimes trip us up a little bit is patios. Like if people have this big exquisite patio, but it's a pretty standard charge what we charge for the house wash, concrete, and then the roof. We have pretty standard rates. And with Zillow and everything now, like if that house has ever been sold, you can see all the pictures of the exterior, so okay, these people, we're going to spend an extra hour prepping this patio and cleaning it.
Mhm.
But then you get a big ticket that has like no patio. So it kind of all washes out. But now we really don't, since you don't meet those people in person and you don't really feel them out as much, you
Mhm.
kind of stick to more of a standardized pricing. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
Mhm.
And they either buy it or they don't. If they don't, that just wasn't your customer. And you can usually tell instantly, like when you tell them, okay, it's gonna be this much, and they're like, oh, uh, okay, well, I'm gonna get back to you. And you're like, yep, I'll never hear from them again. And then
Yeah.
some people, and you might get, it's kind of discouraging sometimes, and that's something I had to translate to Carmen, is because you might get six of those in a row, and you're like, man, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe the market shifted. Maybe, and you start second guessing yourself, and then you'll talk to somebody, they're like, oh man, that's way cheaper than the last guy. That sounds good, like let's do it. And then you boom, 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 boom. Then you close a bunch of jobs.
Yeah.
So it's just you can't second guess yourself. You got to stick to your pricing. And it
Mhm.
is what it is. I mean, chemicals going up freaking every day, man. It's
Mhm.
crazy. So you definitely that is something I struggled with a little bit in the beginning. I did struggle keeping or finding SEO company that I really liked that performed the way I wanted. I was actually thinking about this before a call. I'm not going to say his name, but he used to be all over Facebook advertising, and I haven't seen that dude in like 2 years. So I don't know what happened to him,
No,
but
I know who you're talking about, man. I don't think he's in the marketing game no more, man.
it doesn't surprise me. So I went through a marketing company every year, pretty much. I would let them do their thing, and then when we slowed down around like December, I'd cut them because I'm like this dude ain't working out, and I had my eye on somebody else.
Mhm.
And when I found you, you told me the same thing everybody else told me. Oh, we're about accountability. We're gonna do, we're gonna. I'm like, okay, we'll see, whatever.
Mhm.
And but it's true, man. It's true, and I couldn't be more pleased. I love the monthly reports, how detailed they are. I
Mhm.
know exactly what y'all did. I
Mhm.
can't understand half of it, but I know exactly I know exactly what y'all did, what y'all are doing going forward, what y'all worked on.
Mhm.
And what's crazy is when y'all implement keywords, like if we focus on a different city, like if y'all send me a report and y'all are like, we did keywords or we did a blog in Prairieville for this, I'll have like four extra jobs out of Prairieville that month.
Mhm.
See what I'm saying? So it really is relative. I have noticed that
Mhm.
because we'll all of a sudden get a bunch of calls from like this little outlying city.
Mhm.
And I'm like, man, that's weird. I wonder why all these calls. And then I'll get the report and it's like, oh, we did a blog post or we did, whatever for Prairieville. And I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I see it. I really do see it. And 100% accountability. Every time I call, everybody's friendly.
Mhm.
Anytime I have a question, they give me an answer to the T. Like, so
Yeah.
it's awesome for sure. And we're
Every,
going on 2 years, about to start our third year. So
yeah, man, but
you're
it's less than 30 year.
yeah,
Oh,
you're
it
in
gets
the
better,
you're the front runner for sure. Yeah. Yeah,
man.
it is. It's getting better, man. The more we dialing in, um, like we said, I told you before the call, I can tell the quality of leads on average is going up. We don't get as many tire kickers and stuff.
Mhm.
So it's nice, man. It's going good. And we're just the
Yeah,
year the year I started using you, so we went up every year,
man.
and then 23 we had dropped, or 22. The year before I started using you, we had dropped like 20%.
Mhm.
And then our first full year together, we passed up our previous best year. And
Mhm.
this year, we're on track to go 27% above that. So It's awesome, man. I have no complaints for sure. It's working.
Hey man, I appreciate that. I know that, man, and I think that, and I know like before, because the thing about your business, man, and I want to give you some credit as well. First off, my team loves working with you, man. Number one. Number two is I remember, man, it was probably about because you're right. When you said you focus on your Google business profile page, man, you were not lying about that. I remember because I think I remember I told you I sent you a video. This is when I was first starting out, because I was first starting out in 2020. I was trying to get,
Hmm.
things under my feet and all of that. And I think that I sent you a video like in 2021, man, or 2022, right? And I know you're a super busy guy. You had all of that. I didn't really have a name myself like that in the industry yet. And so I sent you a video, but I was like, dude, this guy already has, at the time, I was like, this dude got like 90 to 100 reviews right now, man. Like, I was like, his website's not that good because I know the guy you're talking about that you were using. And I was like, man, like, he's not doing a good job on that. And then all of a sudden, guess what? We linked up and things because you had already built a solid foundation. You know what I mean? Like you had built a solid foundation, you had invested into yourself, even if it was the wrong companies, sometimes it still helped us be able to help you. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we were starting
Yeah.
from ground zero with somebody. We were starting with a good foundation because some guys would come to us and be like, dude, I have 8 reviews on my Google business profile. I want to rank in Atlanta. And you're like, dude, you don't need SEO at all, man. You don't need that. You need to
Yeah.
use, you need to like put out more yard signs. You need some time in the industry, man, before you can even do
Yeah.
that. You
For
know?
sure. It man, a lot of them guys I used to watch were super. One of them, trying to think of his name. His name's Aaron. He's out of Nashville.
Yeah, Aaron.
I can't think of his last name, but he's like the Lean and Mean Academy. He's like 1, 2 guys. He used to preach about the Google My Business too, man. And now I'm that guy. Anybody I talk to that has a small business, and I'm like, how are you getting your leads? And they're like, well, word of mouth and stuff. I'm like, dude, you're not on Google. That's the first place. Whenever you want to look for anything, where do you go? They're like, Google. I'm like, what are you doing? It's free. It is free. It is free money. You can't rely on, just like you said, you can't rely on just word of mouth. You acquire new customers, and then you have that word of mouth. That's how you want to do it. So if you own any kind of business and you don't have a Google page, you're crazy.
No,
I
you're
mean,
right.
that's just flat out.
No, 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 you're right. And you got the reviews and all of that kind of stuff, man. And you had the physical location with that you had gotten with that kind of stuff. So you got set the foundation. It was just for us to make sure that we structured things right and that we have that. And yeah, our team listens to the calls, man. So even with what converts to the call tracking that you're talking about earlier, like when it comes to some of the stuff that you're getting, when it comes to like Prairieville or these different areas, I have my team be like, I literally have one person on my team. Literally, all they do is go through all the spam calls of every single client we have every day. That's all they do is they go over the spam calls, and we use some AI. I ain't gonna lie. What I mean by AI is that we use AI to automate some of the transcripts so that it like summarizes this stuff, and we can kind of like
Yeah. Do
verify
it faster.
real
Yeah.
call or not. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
if somebody on our team do that to where we're gonna like get rid of the spam like that EMG listings or Google Business Pro. We know that's gonna
Yeah.
happen regardless. Whenever you rank,
Yeah.
you're gonna start getting those calls, you know what I mean? Because people are just gonna look at they'll be like, oh, this guy, this guy's visible, right? You'll be one of the first people see, and then they're gonna be like, what? Hey, 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 right? So that's one of the biggest things, man, out there. But yeah, man, you got anything else to share? It doesn't have to necessarily be about your experience working with us, but it could just be about anything that you would tell anybody watching this video who's just starting off in their exterior cleaning business. I know you just said the Google business profile.
Yeah. Um, man, I've found looking at a lot of other guys, not just exterior cleaning, but pretty much anybody that's trying to start, you almost have to do what I did and go all in and just do it. This 1 foot in, trying to work your day job and then cleaning on the weekends. Like if you're just doing it for extra income and you have like a super good day job and you have insurance and you don't have any desire to leave that, then that's fine. But you have to realize that you're not going to perform in your business like other people will. But if you're trying to go full time and this is what you want to do, then you have to get your money right and you have to just do it, you know? And it's a lot easier now, man, because our months are just way more standardized now.
Mhm.
We used to have dips, big dips, like terrible months, man. I mean, since about year three, we've averaged, I'd say, 25 to $35,000 months,
Mhm.
and then like May or June would be like a $7,000 month, and
Yeah.
I'm like, man, what is going on? And I just thought that's the way it was, you know. But our first year with you, May and June, I think we're both like 25, $27,000 months. And it's like, okay, not only does that obviously add to your year end income, but it's just more stable, you
Yeah.
know. And now we're at a point where we're like 35 to $40,000 months, and then we'll have a 50,000, you know, like I think 2 months ago we almost hit 50. It was like 49 something. So that's awesome, you know, and it's easier to breathe when the phone doesn't ring, you know, like now I don't see it as much. Carmen sees it, and I'm like, "Did you get any calls today?" She's like, "No." I'm like, "Okay, you know, whatever." Before I'd be like, "Man, something's wrong. We gotta," you know, but now I'm like, I know my boys doing what they need to do. So
Yeah.
if they ain't making the phone ring, it just ain't gonna ring right now,
Yeah.
you know? So, but now we're getting so much repeat business and stuff. You know, I got 3 texts today for repeat stuff.
Mhm.
Um, so that's big, man. And the way we do that, for anybody wondering, say we do a new client, especially if they're home. This is 80% of the people that are home, I can close them on this because they'll come out, they'll look at everything, and they're like, man, it looks so good. Either they've never had it done or they've had it done before and we did it better.
Mhm.
And I'm like, well, how often do you usually do this? And they're like, oh, about every year, year and a half. I'm like, well, look, if you do it yearly, I'll take a little bit, sometimes $50 off the ticket. And I'll be like, look, if you do it yearly, we'll do it for this price. I'll lock you in. I'll send you a contract when I get home. And as long as you stay locked into that year, your price will never go up. No
Mhm.
matter if chemical goes up, the market plummets, whatever, as long as you stay in there. And dude, I got people that I've been washing for 6 years.
Mhm.
So, or going into 6 years. So, that's big. You know, when you can get $2,000, $3,000 a month in repeat business, that's big. It helps.
No, it did, and it definitely does. And I like what you were saying about the repeat customers and just that steady growth and about going all in. I think that guys have to know exactly what their goals are and what they want because you got one or two options. Either you're gonna grow your business or you're not. You know,
Yep.
like you don't have that choice of just being like, I'm comfortable at this spot only, because then when you're comfortable at a certain spot, what ends up happening? Your customers, you know what I mean? You're not acquiring new customers, and then sometimes your customers like if they go on Google, sometimes I know that you get someone, and I'm not saying because we run the Google ads like bad or anything, but sometimes people will look up something like, an older demographic of people. They might say like pressure washing Baton Rouge because that's how they found their last company, right? And they just think whatever that first result is
Yeah.
company. And then you ended up
Yeah.
losing out on that, right? You end up losing that and you end up losing more market share to other people. So the
Yeah.
more market share that they have, the more repeat customers that they have, and your stuff is dwindling at that point. But like you
Yeah.
said, guys are doing this, and there's nothing wrong with doing it part-time, like you said, if you have a really good job. And like my first client ever, till this day, I'll shout him out, Jesse. Been a client of ours for 7 years, man. You know what I mean? But for him, he has a full-time job that he works like makes 6 figures with that job, and then he just wants to go ahead and just have some extra money. So I think the guy got like eight. I think he got like 8 kids, man. Like,
Woo! Good night. God bless that man. But but also with the annuals, the way we set the annuals up, that eliminates what you were just talking about. Like older people forget, they get on. And
yeah,
dude, we get cross calls all the time. They're like, is this Louisiana soft wash? And we're
yeah,
like,
yeah,
no, this is LA soft wash. Well, I'm looking for Louisiana, you know, but then I try to snag them. I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
no,
exactly.
don't call them. Let me while we on the phone, you know. So what that does with them knowing, okay, I know in November he came and washed the house and we signed the contract. He'll be coming in November, and I tell them I'm gonna call you about 3 to 4 weeks before That way, if you need to move the date like a week or whatever, then it'll be fluid. If you're on vacation, you're out of town, whatever, whatever the case may be. So then you contact them, and man, a lot of our older clients, especially, will say, "I couldn't remember exactly, but I knew y'all had me down, and I knew y'all were going to call, and we're ready. It needs it. We're ready." So that's
Bingo.
just a way to do it, man. You got to find a way to retain those customers. And then something else I started doing a few years ago too was my big clients, like especially my contractors, that give us constant work, thousands and thousands of dollars a year. Um, I buy those ice chests and I get the cooler tops made for them with our logo and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give them those. It cost me about $220 for an ice chest with a cooler top. And I'll give those to my big contractors and stuff. And dude, those give me a ton of work because they bring them to crawfish bowls, they bring them to barbecues, they bring them to tailgates. And people are like, "Oh, who's that? Oh man, they washed my house. They did such a good job."
Mm-hmm.
And then we get passed on like that. So
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So, yeah, I think the advice, man, obviously it's clear that you know what you're doing and you have a clear, expertise in your domain, man. And so I can't wait to see what happens next year, right? I know for some people they're like it's a little bit of a down year, but I'm like, man, look, for some people it's not gonna be. It's gonna be up. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
so yeah, just
yeah,
keep repeat customers because that's what the big companies do, right? Or the companies that grow. They get new customers and then they always stay on top of mind of their existing customers. And that's just it's a machine. Bring them
yep,
in, keep them. Bring them in, keep them. Bring them in, keep them. And like the
yep,
more people you bring in and the more people you keep, that's just the name of the game. We're going to home service business. Two things, right?
yep,
Get them and keep
yep.
'em, So
And you got to think too, man, that you might have a slow year, right? But if you're targeting the right people with the right income, those people are always going to make money.
mhm,
You know what I mean? No matter what they do, if they're pilots, doctors, lawyers, whatever. If somebody's already making 300,000 up a year, they're gonna make money.
mhm,
They're gonna still get their cars washed, their houses washed. They're still gonna get that woman to come every Wednesday and clean their house. You know
mhm,
what I'm saying? So if you target those kinds of people and higher tickets, those people are gonna keep using you no matter what the market's doing.
mhm. No, you're right. You're
You
right, man.
know,
Mhm.
what was it, 2 years ago? We had a down year when the market was in the tank and all this stuff. And I noticed that my higher ticket clients were still calling. So,
That's true. And the thing that we can even see, like with demographic data and like Google Ads and the people that type that, is that like honestly, 70% of people in almost any market, it's always going to be the top 10% of household income earners that always invest in exterior cleaning services. So when I hear people talk about that, I'm like, hey, rich people can be cheap too, man. You know what I mean?
yep,
Sometimes, rich people can be cheap too. So it's like when we look at the Google Ads stuff, Google tracks the demographics and they track like how much income somebody makes. And even we've done a little bit of playing around with your campaign so that we can like just get we may not get as many leads as we used to with the Google ads like that, but we're going to like get way lower costs, you know what I mean, per lead for that
yeah,
and get target a better customer, you know?
yeah, yeah. And that's what I want.
Yeah.
I don't want to run around doing 5 jobs to make $1,000 a day. I want to go do one job and make $1,000. That's why I got my trailer set up the way I do, my truck. Like I want people to know I'm expensive, but I'm worth it, you
Mhm.
know? And that's just how it is, bro. All my stuff's clean, it's detailed all the time. It looks good. And every house we go to, dude, when they see my trailer and stuff, they're like, "Oh, y'all do this for real?" I'm like, "Yeah, this
Yeah,
is all we do."
yeah, yeah.
And they're like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna go inside and let y'all do y'all's thing." I'm like, "All right."
Yeah. No.
So presentation means a lot too. We wear the polos,
Mhm,
um, not some bleached out t-shirts. So,
mhm,
you know, you can blame your marketing for maybe not getting the leads, but it's up to you to keep them.
mhm.
Client retention is exquisitely placed on your back as a business owner.
Mhm. No,
So,
you're right about that. And like I said, that's the name of the game. And the people that are successful like yourself, you know, they have good client retention even when marketing, and I'm not saying like of course marketing can always work. Some But like even when marketing's not performing as the way that it needs to, you're like you still have that solid foundation that you've already built, you know? So it's not
Yeah.
like some guys feast and famine. I call it like I call those the casino prospects, right? Where they're just like, I'm gonna just gamble right now, you know, because they'll tell you, I'll be like, hey man, and I'll try to be on the phone with them and I'll tell them like, hey man, this is gonna cost you like just like with our fee and you know any kind of like ad budget, like it's gonna cost you anywhere between like at the very least $1,500 to $2,000, man. You know, and they're like, oh yeah, dude, I got that. Like I'll be, and I'm like, can you do it for 3 months? What if you got 3 months with no results? Ah, no, I need results like this. And it's like, this is a casino guy. Like he's probably on his last $2,000.
Yeah.
He's like, I gotta make this work. You know, and you don't want to be
Yeah.
that, right? So
No, no, not at all.
well, you got a night job, man. You got a night job that you got to go ahead and prepare for. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I really appreciate your time that you were here on this video. I think this was a really good conversation, man. I think a lot of people, man, you really said some great things that even on the people that I have as guests on like podcasts and things, solely just for podcast stuff, you've said things that they haven't even like said before. And so I'd love to get you know, successful business owners that may not be like those industry leader type of people, right? But they're still successful and definitely hear your voice. You know what I mean, man? So I really appreciate you taking the time. And if any of you guys have questions, leave them in the comments below and I'll make sure to answer them. And like I said, this is Brody, LA Softwash. He's a very nice guy. So yeah, you don't want to piss him off though, man. Like 6'7", man, like 250 or 260. You probably weigh more than that, like, right?
Hey, yeah, I actually hired a trainer this year just to push me a little more, give me some
Uh-huh.
accountability, and
Uh-huh.
we're on the end of a growth phase right now, so I'm hanging around like 290 right now. But yeah, but yeah, man, we're a silent killer over here. I see a lot of guys that break 300K a year, and they're like advertising business coaching and all that stuff, which is great, you know, but.
Yeah.
Uh, I think we do a lot more, especially with just two people and one truck, and then my wife running the office, than what people would expect. Going after high tickets, you know, and that's
Oh,
the key is
and about how
high
much,
tickets for sure.
yep, and how much money you keep. You guys living good, man.
Yeah.
It's I love to see it. I like to see like go to your son's games, man. You know, coming with like your guys stuff on the weekends. You guys are like hanging out at the pool, watching the games. Man. I'm like, man, Brody living that life, man. Brody living that life.
Oh yeah.
I
Oh
love
yeah.
to
We're
see
doing
it,
it. We're doing
man.
it tomorrow for sure.
I
But
love to see it, man. I love to see it. So, yeah, man. Well, thank you so much. And thank you guys for watching, whether it's on the podcast or YouTube. Like I said, just leave the comments below and we'll see you guys in the next video. Once again, thank you, Brody.
later, man.